My name is Brian O'Hara, Brian-O''Hara. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. Tonight, our city is grieving. After a relative period of peace, the likes of which had not been seen in at least 5 years, that peace has been shattered. And there are families that are suffering tonight, that are grieving. Um, and this is an absolutely senseless tragedy. Just before midnight this night, Minneapolis police officers responded to 3 ShotSpotter activations at this location and around it. Officers arrived and found 5 victims here at the scene. At the scene, we have 3 victims who have been pronounced deceased, 2 males and 1 female. There are 2 additional victims who were transported to the hospital, 1 male and 1 female. One of those at the hospital is in grave condition. Early indications are that this shooting has a high probability that it was targeted and potentially gang related. While the officers were at the scene here, about 1 hour later, there were several rounds fired 5 blocks from here directly south on the 3000 block of 15th Avenue South. Officers responded, and while no victims were found, evidence of gunfire was found there. And shortly thereafter, a person was dropped off at Abbott with non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. This investigation is obviously in its preliminary stages, and I am particularly limited on the information that I can release, but there is an extensive amount of evidence being recovered here at the scene. And I just want to reiterate that now more than ever, we need our entire community to stand up and to not accept this level of violence. And it is proven that if people are able to come forward with information as soon as possible, that will help us to provide some sense of justice for these victims and these family members. And with that, I'll open it up if anyone has any questions.
Chief, you had talked about it was relatively quiet for homicides, and then this has happened for this neighborhood. And what does that say for the people around here?
Well, I can't speculate as to the motive in this incident, but it's very clear. These victims were targeted. I mean, there was extensive efforts by police, firefighters, and EMS to try and provide aid so that everyone could survive here, but they were not successful. It appears, that, again, I am limited about what I feel comfortable disclosing, so as to not compromise the investigation.
Can you comment on, is this a large crime scene? I had heard maybe the alley or the street?
Yeah, so the crime scene is directly behind me. There is a vehicle here that is associated with it. We believe, some of our victims were inside that vehicle. And there's additionally 1 male that is a victim who was on the sidewalk. 2 ShotSpotter notifications were here next to the alley, and there's an additional ShotSpotter notification happening around the same time about 1 block north near the alley that we think that's related to this.
Do you think any of the cameras in the area will help?
There's multiple cameras for sure, and it's still very early in the investigation, but we're confident there's a substantial amount of evidence here at the scene.
Is there anything you wanted to say? When we got here, there's a lot of family showing up to the scene. Just a difficulty with that, seeing a scene like this.
Yeah, our hearts certainly go out to the victims, their loved ones, you know, our officers were here while family members were arriving and just wailing in pain. That's always difficult anytime, you know, there is one victim, you know, let alone to have these multiple victims, and then to have to face family members, loved ones, after our officers were performing CPR and trying to save people's lives. So this is a very serious tragedy. And again, we're not going to rest until we identify who is responsible for this and bring them to justice.
What's the age range of the
I believe all of the victims are adults. We have not confirmed that yet. It appears to be all adults.
Can you say a male or female? Or?
Sure. So at the scene here, we have 3 victims that are deceased. 2 are male and 1 is female. 2 additional victims were transported to the hospital. 1 is female and 1 is male. The male victim is in grave condition.
And we can say they're transported to HCMC.
I don't have that confirmed, but that is
Yeah.
the trauma center for this area.
Chief, just to clarify, do we think that 6th victim is related to this?
It potentially is, but that victim was not found at the scene. There was evidence of gunfire found at the scene and other evidence that shooting occurred there, but the victim was not found at the scene. The victim was later dropped off at Abbott with a gunshot wound, and we have not definitively connected that victim to that scene, but obviously it's very, very close in time. And again, just the, you know, it's, you know, highly suspicious to have another shooting shortly after this, you know, 5 blocks away in the same part of town. But again, we have not tied the 2 together yet.
Anything else?
Right. Thank you.